So we've recently had a few black bear incidents here in Gatlinburg, Tennessee that have actually gathered some national attention. And there are two in particular I wanted to look at in this video and answer two particular questions. Is it safe to walk around downtown, or are there bears everywhere that you have to be concerned about? And the second question I hope to answer in this video is, what can you do to prevent bear interactions and keep yourself safe while you're here in the Great Smoky Mountain? The first thing I want to do is find some shade because it is really hot out, and let's check out this first video and see what happened. So let's take a look at this first incident. It's a mom holding her kid and the bear comes by. I think the name is Kaiamana Kiss is the name of who posted this. Take a look at this and listen together to see exactly what happened. All right, let me play it.
Oh, no, girl. Is he, do you, oh.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. You see, if you had the food, you will take it.
Oh, the little girl. Oh, it's grabbing her clothes.
Yeah, he'll leave.
He didn't bite her, he's just sniffing. He's just sniffing.
Please take the food in.
They got the door closed, they're not having them come in.
Oh, yep, there's something
He's trying to take the...
Now he's just moved the chair. There's something white on the ground. He's grabbed, and there you go, he's off. That was just a couple days ago. That was shared publicly online. Just wanted to take a look at that. Again, at no point did the bear bite her. It smells food. And unfortunately, what you're seeing is that bear has become no longer afraid of humans. And so that definitely is a challenge. If a bear is getting fed, it's not going to instinctively run away. In fact, I just had this bear in our driveway yesterday. Huge, big male, biggest bear I've seen on our property yet. And if I had approached him, he would have bolted away. But this was a huge, huge bear. I'm not worried about the bear having an issue coming up with their kids or anything like that. Now let's take a look at this second video. This one was filmed by a Zachary Recchia over at Anakista. This is at a food truck. Let's see what happened. This was Thursday, June 20th. Let me play it.
Go, no. I got nothing
So
for
the
you,
bear
buddy.
is in the food truck.
My kid. Right here.
I look at he's drooling. He's all about this gumbo.
And there is a girl coming back with food. You'll see her come around the corner here in a second.
I got nothing. Oh, hey, spilled out.
Here she comes.
Are you okay?
You okay?
So
Ooh.
let me go back and let me play this in slow motion.
No, but she got
And
burned
I'll
on
say
her
this,
arm.
first of all, this bear is looking for food. He's hungry, he's used to humans. The guy filming is pretty close, so he's not worried about being near people. So as I play this back real slow, here she comes around the corner. She's got a pot of food in her hand, and the bear, they both essentially startle each other at the exact same moment. He's probably feeling a little trapped in that moment. He needs to get out of there. He was about to head out of there. She's trying to come in. He's trying to go out. He kind of goes up, puts his paws out. The paws, as she turns, it looks like it gets her, touches her on her back. And then the bear bolts over to the right. So one thing I wanted to point out with both of these videos is you see the bear investigating, it's smelling, it's looking for food. These black bears here in this area, they're not looking to attack humans. It's not as though we're out in Alaska in the middle of nowhere and there's gigantic grizzly bears around here. Now, I say that and say you still need to treat them with respect, that they're a wild animal, and if you see one, keep your distance. But what I think you're seeing, in my opinion, is behavior of a bear who's been fed and had access to food, looking for food, and essentially a fed bear is a dead bear. And so I wanted to take this opportunity to kind of show these two videos and remind people that as cute as they look, if you're up in your cabin or wherever and you see a bear, or you're out walking the street and a bear comes by in some way, shape, or form, to not throw food at it, not give it food. Don't look at it and think, oh, look, I'm gonna help it out, because it actually is not helping a bear out. With regard to that second one we just watched in the food truck, Anakista and the TWRA have implemented some new measures in the park with temporary electric fencing and unwelcome mats when the park is not in use to kind of discourage the bears from looking. The president of Anakisa just said that our team is expanding our partnership with TWRA by implementing new initiatives to keep bears and people safe during their Smoky Mountain vacations. So the question one might have after seeing a video like that is it safe to be here in Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, and the Smoky Mountains with bears coming that close to people? And the answer, I would say, is yes, it is, as those are not everyday common occurrences. Those are things that the wildlife resource agencies try to discourage. And again, something that Anakisa is taking even greater measures to keep both bears and humans safe. So if you came across a video like that and you were a little nervous, or someone in your party is a little nervous, you can send them this video. And I would say, I wouldn't hesitate to bring your kids, bring grandma, bring Uncle Eddie. Wait, no, don't bring Uncle Eddie. Everyone's got that one Uncle Eddie of sorts. You don't have to bring that one, but bring anybody you want, and I would not be too worried as far as safety goes. Well, let's head over to the Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency and talk to somebody who knows much more than I do to get a little more insight. Especially, the question I want to answer is, what do you do if you do stumble upon a bear? What's the best way to keep you and those around you safe? So let's go ask him that question. We're here with Matthew. So can you tell me a little bit about what you would do if you did come across a bear?
There are different ways you should react depending on the species of bear. Unfortunately, in Tennessee, we only have the black bear. Now, they have a natural fear of humans, and we want to use that to our advantage. The experts say with a black bear that you try to intimidate it, that you look big, you shout at it, you throw things at it, you do things in an aggressive manner to try and intimidate that bear to get it to turn and go a different direction. Now, in the two videos that I've seen posted online from incidents that happened, one at the Bearskin Lodge, one at Anakisa Park, were not cut and dried situations. It's not like we saw the bears from a distance and had an opportunity to react in the ways the experts would say. Kind of pick up halfway in the one at the Bearskin Lodge where a mother apparently is holding her child with her back turned to the bear. Bear showing a lot of curiosity in the person, which is not normal bear behavior. Actually, I think stands up, kind of puts its paw on the lady and sniffs the little girl's foot. So it's obviously not an ideal situation to deal with a black bear. In that case, she probably did what any normal mother would do, is to protect her child. And fortunately, the bear was not overly aggressive and it turned and left. But leading up to that point, if they had time to see the bear from a distance and were able to intimidate it, that would have been the best option, or to remove themselves from the situation to begin with would be the even better option, to get inside, to create some kind of a physical barrier between you and it. Yeah, in that situation, I think she did all she could at that point is turn and protect her child. The Anakisa situation, you see a bear inside a concession stand, numerous people outside. It has food on its paw, so it's obviously in there trying to obtain food, and it's not the first time that bear has been inside a concession stand. So it turns to leave as the worker is coming inside. They surprise one another, and the bear actually kind of runs over her, and it scratched her on her arm and her back. It did leave superficial marks on her, kind of like I would describe it as if a dog clawed you and left its marks on you. Minor injury she received, fortunately, and the bear went on. She closes the door and goes on about her job. So hats off to her for being a trooper there, but that's not normal bear behavior either. Bears should not enter buildings inhabited by people. When they are in the presence of humans, they should have that natural fear and turn and run from them. But unfortunately, this has been a progression with this bear. It's obviously, it didn't just one day decide, hey, I'm going to go into a concession stand and see what happens. So it probably started with getting food from a garbage can somewhere, or someone tossing it food, and they have incredible noses. They have a nose that's 7 times better than a bloodhound. So they can smell the food that's inside there. It comes in, there's people there, and it turns and leaves, and it scratches the young lady. So I don't think she did anything wrong in that situation. I believe any one of us surprised by a bear will probably turn and try to defend ourselves in some way. Fortunately, though, she wasn't seriously injured. We did set traps. We caught a sow with 3 or 4 cubs. We caught a mother bear with 4 cubs and released her on site. Caught a larger male with ear tags in, which indicates that he's been part of a study before. We released that large male, and then we caught a third bear that we believed to be the one that was responsible for that incident. Unfortunately, that bear had to be euthanized, and that's not something we enjoy as an agency.
So Matthew, I'm sure there's some people in the comments that think, well, why did we not just grab the bear and go put it out in the middle of nowhere in the national park? Why does that become difficult? Can you tell us a little bit about the matrix in which you guys work as far as, you know, first offense, we have to do this, or how does that work?
It's a great question. We've been asked that a lot this week. You know, why could we not just trap this bear and relocate it somewhere else? Studies show that relocation is not an effective way to deal with bears that are causing conflict issues such as this one in this case. When you remove a bear and take it somewhere else, it will continually behave in the same manner as it did in the place that it was captured from. It does not go somewhere else and start behaving normally. So it's so habituated to the point that it will seek out humans, be it at a campground or another residential area. It will eventually come across people and it will exhibit those same behaviors because that's all it knows, how to get that free, easy meal from a trash can, from a handout or pet food or birdseed or a number of things. So it's not as simple as just taking it somewhere else. And then furthermore, research shows that within about a 3-month period that 70% of bears that are relocated are killed because they are trying to work their way back to their home range and they get struck by vehicles, or they end up acting aggressively and end up being killed on a depredation permit or by someone who is, you know, maybe defending their life, limb, or property. So relocation is just not a great option, and it doesn't do anything to let the public realize that, you know, we can't behave in these manners as people. We can't keep approaching bears. We can't keep feeding them and habituating them because there's no consequence if they think, well, all that TWR is going to do is get this bear and take it to a sanctuary somewhere. There's really no ownership of the problems, and it really all comes back to the actions of human beings. You know, what are we doing to cause this bear to behave in the manner that it's behaving in? So what I want people to realize is you need to adopt a pay it forward mentality. I don't want to pick on guests and tourists too much because we do have residents and businesses that have, you know, problems of their own, but it seems that when folks come to town, they're only there temporarily, and they don't really think about how their actions are going to affect people next week and the week after, and how our actions going to affect this bear. They do what they want to do, they go home, and it's not their problem anymore. Well, the next people that come to town, let's say they want to be responsible with the bear. They want to see it in a natural setting from a safe distance, but that bear's already habituated to the point that it wants to approach people, and then you end up in a scenario like we've seen last week in Gatlinburg. So yeah, adopt that pay it forward mentality. Realize that your actions are going to affect that bear and people. Be responsible. Let's help keep bears wild and keep them alive.
Let's say I'm in a cabin in Gatlinburg or Pigeon Forge and I started to notice there was a bear continually coming by, and I started to become concerned. What's the best number we could call or thing we could do from there?
Bears that have very little or no fear of humans are bears that are going to be a problem. And our matrix is designed from the extremes. You have one extreme that says the bear is very wary of people and is feeding on natural foods in a natural setting, all the way to the point where a bear is entering occupied dwellings and it is contacting human beings. But there are a lot of steps in between that bear conflict matrix that if we can reach the bear at a certain point before it goes too far on this threshold, then there may be a chance that we can use negative conditioning to discourage that bear from continuing in its nuisance type behavior. So yeah, if folks can call our regional office in Morristown, we've got a 1-800 number. It's 1-800-831-1174. If there is a bear that has no fear of people, that's acting aggressively and causing issues, we want to know about that bear because there is hope for that bear. If it hasn't crossed a line where we have to euthanize, we can use aversive conditioning, and that would mean that bear may be trapped. It may be may use rubber bullets or rubber buckshot, may use pyrotechnics, some sort of a manner to discourage that bear from continuing in that sort of nuisance behavior. And there could be some hope for it, but once again, that really just goes back to the actions of us as human beings and how we treat these bears.
Awesome. We really appreciate your time, Matthew. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Again, a big thank you to Matthew with the Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency for his time to share a little bit of insight about how they handle bears here in Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, in the Great Smoky Mountains. I'd love to hear what you think down in the comments about these incidents or other incidents that you know of or that perhaps you've experienced. And I hope this video is a good reminder, again, to not only not feed bears, but make sure you keep your distance. You can still come to the Smokies and have a great time. Just don't invite Uncle Eddie. You don't want Uncle Eddie. But otherwise, have a great time this summer. Let us know what you think down in the comments. And until next time, we'll see you on the next adventure.